I have a message to the Iranian girls that are still running their mouths on social media and spreading propaganda in support of Israel. And it's a very dangerous and harmful and Islamophobic propaganda. This propaganda is so dangerous because it has nothing to do with what is going on in Gaza and what has been happening in Palestine for so many years. First of all, Gaza is not Iran. I don't care what you say, but you cannot come on here as an Iranian girly living in freaking California about the people of Gaza and using us as a tool and painting us as being oppressed by Hamas just so that you can spread your Islamophobic beliefs on here. Palestinians are oppressed by Israelis. This is our oppressor. Israel is our oppressor. In Gaza, no one is forced to cover their hair. We are not forced to wear a hijab. It's not freaking Iran. And you guys know that. You guys who are spreading this propaganda know that. You are seeing all our journalists working with their colleagues who are men, without their husbands, without their fathers, without their brothers, without anyone. They're going at night reporting for the whole world with other men who are their colleagues. And you're still coming on here and telling us that we are oppressed by Hamas? First of all, the Palestinian resistance is not ISIS, it's not the freaking Taliban, and it's definitely not the freaking Iranian government. So stop running your mouth, and you know who you are. There's a few girls on here that are of Iranian descent who are spreading propaganda in support of Israel, and you need to take 100 steps back. You either listen to Palestinians and amplify our voices and uplift us and support us, or you keep your mouth shut.
Okay. Telling people, especially women, to keep their mouth shut usually is not a good idea. And it usually has the very opposite effect. When was the last time that some people had something to say and you went to them and you told them that they need to keep their mouth shut and they were like, oh, okay, sure, I'll do that. I mean, it doesn't work like that. Usually people feel more emboldened to say what they're saying if you tell them to shut up. I don't know what the strategy here is that she's going by, but
I
I
totally
have
agree
so
with
much
you.
to say. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I totally agree with you that her attitude once makes me want to attack her, even if I don't have anything to say. I just the attitude alone
Yeah,
is enough. Like attack her,
yeah, yeah,
not physically. I mean, on the social media.
yeah. Of course, of course. Yeah. Um, I have so much to say about every single sentence that she uttered. I don't know. I know it's just 2 minutes, but I just want to go and dissect everything she said one by one. But before I do that, first of all, I really want to appreciate what she's doing here because she's kind of demonstrating how strong the Iranian support for Israel is. Because we keep going around and telling people that Iranians are really, there's a mass wave of Iranians supporting Israel, right? And some people don't believe us. Some people think that we're exaggerating. But when a Palestinian woman comes and starts complaining about it, that basically illustrates how massive this wave is. It's frustrating them. It's frustrating them. Like they're noticing how many Iranian women are coming out and supporting Israel. It must be a mass wave of them for people to have noticed, right?
I think that it's kind of going from both sides. After the Mahsa Amini protests, the many Israelis started to understand more about Iran, that most Iranians don't want this government, and started supporting Iran more. I think that before the Mahsa Amini protests, uh, a lot of people here still had this image that Iran is very restrictive, and the people there are very traditional and very religious. And although the first point I said that Iran is very restrictive is it's right, but most people in Iran probably don't want to be as restricted as it's required from them. And I really feel the support for Iranians is growing here, and also that the support back that we receive. the the hatred towards the Iranian government is so intense that I think many Iranians don't even know much about Israel, but they think Israel is the enemy of my enemy, so they are maybe my
Yeah.
friends. Yeah.
Well, that was before. That was before. Now, I think we're saying ever since the Massa revolution, there are more people that are getting familiar with Israel. Like I'm noticing on our Persian channel, that it's not just an enemy of my enemy thing. They're actually genuinely loving what they're saying in Israel, like beyond just the enemy of my enemy thing, right? Um, and also, by the way, I just want to highlight. So, Mariam, by the way, is one of those Iranian women right now that she's trying to shut up. She's saying proud Iranian Zionist here. So, Mariam, are you going to shut up? Tell us, like in the live chat, she's telling you to keep your mouth shut. So, tell us if you're going to listen to her. Tell me if that's going to work. And also, this is a very good comment I see by Spacella saying the Islamic Republic has tried to get Iranian women to shut up for years. How well has that gone for them? Yeah, exactly. This lady, I don't understand what she's trying to do. She's telling Iranian woman to shut up. Lady, there's a Islamic regime, a dictatorship, a tyranny, a theocracy has tried to get the Iranian woman to shut up for 40 years, and they have been unsuccessful with threat of execution and torture. And you think you could come on social media and just tell them to shut up, and you think that's you're going to succeed when an Islamic regime has failed? You're going to succeed at that? Like, I don't understand what the plan here is. But let me actually go and try to dissect every single thing that she's saying, right? So let's go word by word.
I have a message to the Iranian girls that are still running their mouths on social media and spreading propaganda in support of Israel. And
okay, so here's one thing she doesn't understand. She doesn't understand that she is supporting Israel by doing that. Right? So she has with her because her video went viral. Even some people in the live chat mentioned that they saw this video, right? So what she did by posting, so she's anti-Israeli, but she doesn't understand that her video, not on purpose, was a major win for Israel because she managed to shine a light on on Iranians supporting Israel. And a lot of people who follow her, a lot of anti-Israeli people who follow her, did not know that, and she shined a light on them. And a lot of people get surprised by that because Iranians are in the Middle East, and a lot of people didn't understand that under the Islamic regime, there's a country full of people who support Israel, and that knowledge of that is really good for Israel. So you played yourself. That backfired massively.
Yeah, and I
So let's
can
continue.
say
Yeah, yeah.
from what I feel, I tried to
Mm.
talk with people throughout the Middle East, like from Egypt, Turkey, Pakistan, and also Iran. And Iranians are probably the least anti-Semitic people I met. I mean,
Yeah,
Egyptians, even
by
though we
far.
have a peace treaty with Egypt, I think Egyptians
Hmm.
are way more anti-Israeli and anti-Semitic than Iranians. They are they were much more hostile to me. Most Egyptians, of course, I can't tell about everyone, and maybe I had bad luck. But overall, this was the feeling I got.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
I think Iranians have gone way beyond not being anti-Semitic. I think they are pro-Israel, like aggressively pro-Israel. so,
Yes, I actually agree. I feel a lot of
yeah.
love from Iranians.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, by the way, from people who don't know, Anna is from Israel. So
Yeah.
if some people might not be new here. Yeah. Okay, so let's continue.
it's a very dangerous and harmful and Islamophobic propaganda.
So here's another tip for this lady. Telling Iranian women that this is what they're saying is Islamophobic often encourages them to continue what they're doing, because they were like, okay, oh, this is against Islam. Okay, well, let me not stop then and do it 10 times more. So I don't know
No,
why.
she
Oh,
also
you're
says
being Islamophobic, really? Yeah, go on.
it's dangerous. Like they feel threatened by it. So maybe it's so much. It's probably
Yeah,
not just one or two women from Iranian descent. Like if she feels it's dangerous and threatening
yeah,
enough to do a video, maybe it's working. Like we should do more
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
this.
I mean, if a terrorist sympathizer like you is threatened by it and it's harmful to your narrative, that means they're doing their job correctly. That means it's working. So thank you for
Yeah.
giving us, confirming that this is good. Like, if you are threatened by it, then great job. And also, Mariam in the live chat is saying, yeah, we love Islamophobia, right? By the way, I know phobia is not the right term for it. We're just joking about, because phobia is like irrational fear, and other people in the live chat are pointing out that being afraid of Islam makes complete sense. So it's not a phobia. But as far as what they're referring to, them calling it Islamophobia, yeah, we are proudly so. We are anti-Islamic and we're proud of it. And you telling people that, oh, what they're doing is Islamophobic, is just encourages them to continue what they're doing even more. Oh, and let's continue.
This propaganda is so dangerous because it has nothing to do with what is going on in Gaza and what has been happening in Palestine for so many years. First of all, Gaza is not Iran. I don't care what you say, but you cannot come on here as an Iranian girly living in freaking California about the people of Gaza and using us as a tool and painting us as being oppressed by Hamas.
So, first of all, you are oppressed by Hamas and you don't know it. And I will show you at the end of this video, once I finish, that you are oppressed by Hamas. But she said, like, first of all, this is not Iran. Gaza is not Iran. Yeah, Gaza is not Iran, but Hamas is a proxy arm of the Islamic regime in Iran. So you might not know, but the people who rule over you are fully funded by the Islamic Republic of Iran. So I'm sorry, but your government is just an extension of the Islamic regime that we're fighting against. So you might not be aware of it. Maybe let Iranian women educate you on things that you don't understand. The Hamas that you guys support and endorse is just a proxy of our regime that we are trying to topple. So it's basically the same enemy. Don't think that because we're Iranian and you're Palestinian that we don't understand. We understand more than you what we're fighting. Your Hamas is just one of the tentacles of the octopus with its head in Tehran.
A lot of Iranians told me they are extremely against Hamas because the Iranian government spends so much money and resources on the
Yeah.
Hamas instead of its own people. So they feel like they say like our government is not the government of the Hamas. Like let them be and spend the money on the Iranian people. They
Yeah, yeah,
feel
yeah.
extremely frustrated from this.
Yeah, okay, so she thinks that, oh, we're supposed to stay in our own lane, focus, in Iran, and like this is not Gaza and Hamas is none of our business. But she doesn't understand that no, Hamas is completely our business, because your Hamas is just a proxy of the Iranian regime. And look at the hypocrisy here. Look at this. She doesn't understand that the entire Palestinian cause is an excuse for the Iranian regime. You're just a lady. Let me explain this to you. You're nothing but a pawn in a bigger game. Okay? The Palestinians, the so-called Palestinian liberation movement, is not about liberating Palestinians. This is just about the Islamic regime in Tehran trying to build its empire, try to do imperialism in the Middle East. You are being used as a pawn of an imperialist force. That's what you are. And it's not about you. You're just a tool for them, and you're being played. And we, as the enemies of that regime, refuse to let you, the foot soldiers, unknowingly, the foot soldiers of the Iranian regime, come here and tell us to shut up. You're nothing in this claim. You're like a small piece of this. We are dealing with a much bigger beast back at Tehran, and you're just like a small piece of it that we have to basically run over while we're going for the main boss. But look at the hypocrisy of what she's telling here. Look at
Palestine for so many years. First of all, Gaza is not Iran. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, Gaza is used by the Islamic Republic. First of all, when she says Iran, she means the Islamic Republic of Iran. Gaza is used as a propaganda tool by the Islamic regime. The Palestinian people, their blood and their lives are being used by the Islamic Republic, not to liberate them, but to use them as an excuse to meddle and expand its empire all over the Middle East. But look at this. Yeah.
But you cannot come on here and
Yeah, what?
I think that also a lot of Iranians, including the Islamic Republic of Iran, they don't really love Arabs that much, especially not Sunni Arabs. Like Shia Arabs are still okay, but Sunni Arabs aren't very treated very well in Iran itself. So it seems to me a little bit strange that Iran cares for Palestinians so much. Like I also feel that it's only an excuse, the Palestinian cause. Okay, the Islamic Republic doesn't care for Palestinians really.
No, not at all. I mean, they care. They want them to die. They want them to. They care. They do the opposite of caring. The Islamic Republic of Iran wants Palestinians to suffer, wants Palestinians to die, because it's through their misery and through their death that they could use the victimhood narrative for their involvement in the Middle East, right? So, and again, the Islamic Republic wants to be influential in the entirety of the Islamic world in the Middle East, but because it's Shia and it cannot use the Shia narrative for its involvement in the Middle East, it has to use the narrative of being anti-Zionist and pro-Palestinian. So that's why the Palestinian suffering is so useful for the Islamic regime in Tehran. So it's far worse than not caring about the Palestinians. It's as far as wanting them to suffer, wanting them to be miserable, wanting them to die at the hands, wanting to put them there in front of Israel's military for them to be, killed, so that blood could be used as an excuse for their involvement everywhere in Iraq, in Lebanon, in Yemen, in Syria, and everywhere else. That's how all of this is working, and she doesn't understand that. She doesn't understand when she's supporting Hamas, she's supporting an organization that is a proxy of a regime that is very much invested in the suffering of Palestinians.
She also commented that Gaza is much more liberal than Iran. I don't know how true is it.
Yeah.
I think that
we're getting
in
wait.
Yeah.
No, we're not
Okay.
that. We're moving one part at a time, so we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Yeah.
First of all, Gaza is not Iran. I don't care what you say, but you cannot come on here as an Iranian girly living in freaking California about the people of Gaza and using us as a tool and painting us as being oppressed.
So here she's saying using us as a tool. No, lady, they're not using you as a tool. They don't care for, terrorist sympathizers like you. They are fighting against their enemies. They're fighting against the evil that is the Islamic Republic of Iran, and the Hamas that you support is just a proxy of that evil, right? So it's not a badge. Don't make this about you. You're nothing in this game. You're just a pawn by, the forces of evil. So you're not being used as a tool by Iranian women. You're being used as a tool by Hamas and the Islamic regime in Iran. That's who's using you as a tool.
Oppressed by Hamas just so that you can spread your Islamophobic beliefs on here? Palestinians are oppressed by Israelis. This is our oppressor. Israel is our oppressor.
No, so Israel is not your oppressor. If anything, Israel is your only chance for getting freed from your oppressors, who was Hamas. So that's the only shot. The only shot that you will ever have to be free from Hamas is the Israeli military. So if I was you, I would be thanking them.
In
And
Gaza, no one is
Go
I
ahead.
want to add that Gaza is not under Israeli occupation, or
Mm-hmm.
there are no Israelis left in Gaza. There are no military personnel in usual times. I don't mean the war now. There are no military personnel there. So Hamas basically has full freedom of what he wants to build in Gaza, what he wants to do with the population there. But instead of using maybe the beaches, it has beautiful beaches for developing the tourist zones in Gaza. They used all the money they get from Iran and Qatar to build weapons, to make more weapons, and build tunnels under hospitals, and use their own civilians as just human shields.
Yeah, exactly. And Israel has been sending money to Gaza for it to build Gaza, for Palestinians there to
Mhm.
have better lives. Israel has been trying to give work permits to people in Gaza to come to work in Israel, to make money, to take that money back in Gaza, so that it could improve the lives of people in Gaza. And some of those people who came to Israel are the very same people who took the information to Gaza for Hamas to come to be able to come back to Israel and basically slaughter Israelis. And Israel is Israel builds water pipes into Gaza, the same water pipes that Hamas takes out to build missiles with. The money that Israel tries to send to Gaza for development is the money that is used by Hamas to build more military, equipment to be able to fight, to kill, Jewish people in Israel. So it's,
And
and also Israel. Yeah, go on.
I also think it's definitely the she says to Iranian women not to speak about it, to shut up, but Iranians, they know that their government supports Hamas, and it supports
Yeah.
it both in money and both in like technologies for missiles, both in even training probably. You
Hmm.
can't separate between Hamas and Iran and the Islamic Republic of Iran. It's one of the greatest supporters of Hamas, maybe alongside
Exactly.
Qatar. Qatar just brings tons of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also Israel is the Israel's military. When they wanted to move into Gaza, they are the ones who throw flyers everywhere trying to tell people in Gaza where to go to get to have the try to reduce civilian casualties when they are attacking Gaza. And it's Hamas that is tries to push the Palestinians and keep them in the areas where the bombardments are the maximum, so that more people in Gaza die. It's the Israeli military that goes into Gaza and tries to open the highways, the roads for Gazans to be able to move out of the bombardment area, and it's Hamas who
Yes,
goes and blocks
that
it.
the
Yeah.
Military must guard
Mm.
the humanitarian corridors for Hamas not to shoot on the Gazians. Like
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
absurdity. And for example,
Yeah.
okay, I want to say that Hamas, they keep all their military supplies in schools, in hospitals, and like if you say to me, please, Anna, can you keep this grenade in your room? I would be like, are you out of your mind? Now Hamas
Hmm.
does it to the most important buildings for its citizens, right? In order for Israel
Yeah.
not to bomb it. And if Israel bombs it, then it's a win-win situation, because you can show here Israel is such a ruthless state. It bombs a hospital. And if it accidentally explodes, which happens with rockets, like I won't put a grenade in my room because I know it might explode accidentally as well. So if it
Yeah.
even accidentally explodes, yeah, you can still blame Israel, just like it did with the Indonesian hospital, I think. when
You're right.
a
Yeah.
rocket, they fired a rocket from behind the hospital and it landed in the parking lot of the hospital, and they just blamed Israel immediately.
Yeah. And I just want to mention that the Israeli military, the IDF, cares 1,000 times more about Palestinians than Hamas ever did and ever would. I'm saying this, like, I want people to understand this. IDF, Israel's military, cares more about Palestinian lives, cares more about protecting Palestinian lives than Hamas ever would. Right? When you see that the Israeli military sends in their soldiers to go open the roads that Hamas, basically risking Israeli soldiers' lives to open the roads that Hamas is blocking on purpose to leave Gazans under the bombardments, that's Israeli soldiers going there to save Gazans from Hamas, so risking their own lives to save Gazans from Hamas. When they're people from Gaza themselves, they say when they were trying to leave the bombardment area, Hamas militants would shoot at them to keep them under the bombardment. Oh, we got a super chat. I will read that. Another thing to remember is that when Israel opens aid corridors for Gazans to be able to, to reduce the amount of suffering and misery, when it allows water to come in, when it allows food to come in, when it allows fuel to come in, the fuel and the food that is supposed to get to the Gazan people so that they could, have access to at least some of the basics, some minimum resources, Hamas comes and steal those. I mean, even this lady right here, she reported this. Hamas comes and steals the food and resells them. The food that was supposed to be free, aid that is supposed to be free to Gaza, Hamas steals that and sells them to Gazan 10 times the price. It's insane. And they say, like, oh, we're not being oppressed. Are you what are you talking about? Again, at the end of the video, I will show you people from Gaza themselves telling you that they're oppressed by Hamas. I will show that to you.
By Israelis. This is our oppressor. Israel is our oppressor. In Gaza, no one is forced to cover their hair. We are not forced to wear a hijab. It's not freaking Iran. And you guys know that.
So you're an idiot, lady, because not all forms of oppression comes in the format of forcing hijab. And you're such a moron that you think that Iranians are being oppressed only in the form of hijab. Hijab is a very small fraction of how the Islamic Republic of Iran wrongs its people. So, like, just because you don't have to wear the hijab in Gaza doesn't mean that your Hamas is not an oppressive force. And I will show
And
you an Iranian woman. Yeah.
By this logic, Israel can't be an oppressor because it doesn't enforce the hijab. Like if she says that Hamas aren't oppressing us because they aren't enforcing the hijab, they aren't enforcing anything religious.
Yes.
Like in Israel, you can be whatever you want. There is no religious
Genius.
forcing. No one is forcing me to be Jewish, and I can go with a chador or hijab outside, and no one would say anything. So, I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
Her logic.
No, you're right. Based on her. Yeah, you're pretty good. That was pretty good. Yeah, based on her logic, then you're not being oppressed by Israel either because they're not forcing you to wear a hijab.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's the only form of oppression, yeah. By the way, Marjan is in the live chat saying, she's an Iranian woman, and she's saying, I just came here to say, we don't shut up. We stand with Israel. And the heart emoji and Israeli flag.